Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Guild Wars 1 Let's Play. We are still here in House Suhelts are helping out the Kurzicks. Trying to make some new friends, and we're going to kill some more endangered animals to turn them into instruments. Let's go. The last true instruments have been a big hit. The originals alone will allow me to retire someday, fat and happy. The replicas sound close enough to the real thing that they may change the sound of music in this region forever. And so I will be a legend. I should be satisfied. Yet these new creations have renewed something I thought was fated. I seek one last creative challenge. I want you to help me. You must seek out the elusive rhythm drinker. It is no myth, but is a sensation to the disruption of nature's natural rhythms, and it always keeps its own time. Few creatures can take it unaware. Fury can still catch it. No one can kill it, except perhaps you. A real live myth killer. My last greatest creation requires a piece that's naturally incurring metronomic wonder. Slay a rhythm drinker and bring me its rhythm wing. We'll be rich, that is even richer. I'll share it with you, my extremely dangerous but silent partner. You've got music, you'll get rhythm, I swear. The beat stops your viscy, I won't do it. Looks like we are going to another new... Yeah, looks like another new outpost. Or new, excuse me. What are they called? Explorable zone, wow. So, let's get it going then. Let's bribe this guy real quick. Do I have money? Yeah, I got plenty of money. Alright. Let's head on out. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, as always. It's a pretty nice day where I am here. Spent a little time outside today. Also started piecing together the clips for the Skyrim challenge. And oh boy, it's a great undertaking. I've never really done a lot with super edited content, and trying to figure out how I want to cut everything and do the voiceovers has been a bigger challenge than I expected it to be. But anyway, we're here about Guild Wars. Kills this warden. We're getting pretty close to the end of factions. I think the next episode is going to be the Fort Aspenwood episode. And then we probably have an episode or two left in the Kurzick zone before we get into the last couple missions. That's exciting. Factions is relatively short, but you are kind of supposed to spend quite a bit of time in these zones, doing these quests, and, you know, helping out the Kurzick people, playing the PvP modes, to kind of increase the playtime. I always thought Factions was the shortest, but it turns out that possibly Prophecies is shorter than Factions, which is actually quite surprising. It might just also be because, again, we're doing both sides, so because of that. We might, you know, be taking a little bit longer than a normal person would on their playthrough. I have decided that I will do a playthrough of all the different challenge missions at the end of the campaign. I think that's what we're going to do, since Factions does not really have a traditional post-game. Let's look forward to that. That should be coming up where we finish. I have to make builds and stuff for each of them, though, because I kind of want to see how far we can get in a lot of them, so... trying to get the thing up. There we go. Alright. Looks like we're almost to the zone. Oh, some more wardens dropping down. Forest Master of Russia. Interesting. But as you can see, these zones are actually quite packed with quests. To be honest, the city was probably just as packed with quests, but it's hard to find because the city has a lot of verticality to it, excuse me. So here we are in Ludgardis Conservatory, kind of a basic outpost. A lot of the Kurzick and Luxon outposts can be a little bit basic. It's literally just a room, basically. Like, it's just a square. It's literally a square. And if you're in the Alliance, you can get back there. Anyway, let's read. Previously known as Cypress Hollow, the Ludgardis House decided to build its cathedral and homes here after the house founder, Lord Rolf Ludgardis, came to the spot seeking guidance from the gods. According to legend, Lord Ludgardis was deep in prayer when a tree weighed down by its heavy petrified limbs finally gave way and crashed to the forest floor. It missed Ludgardis by mere inches and was immediately declared a sign from the gods as a blessed place to all the members of House Ludgardis. So my man just didn't get crushed by a tree limb, and he's like, it's a sign from the gods. Man, trees must fall in this petrified forest all the time. That seems a little, little silly, but whatever. Here's the Scoutmaster Arnie. But this is what I was saying about as you get farther in, the zones get quite a bit better. Like, I think this is a lot better, a lot prettier of a zone compared to a lot of the other Kurzick zones. I love the fact that there's actually some green here, not just grays. We're back to the canopy above, which is so nice. I really like the canopy. With the light coming through, just looking nice. Mantids are a little bit annoying. I think there's a boss people used to farm around here. I seem to remember people doing some farm around here. Oh, there's like a cathedral in that big tree there. I think a lot of the bigger trees tend to have a cathedral in them. Things are starting to get a higher level. I find it interesting that the wardens are a lower level than a lot of the mantids and stuff like that. I wonder if that's just for balancing reasons, because you know there's less mantids in a pack, but I really like this area. I think we will come back through here for one of the main quests, but I really like this bridge with this water going under it. There's another Kurzick home over there. There's another one there. I find it interesting that it's like a lot of the Kurzicks never leave their trees, so these like big stone cathedrals in here are, you know, they're inhabited by people, but they don't really go outside of them that much, which is quite interesting as a concept. Here is another one. Here's the rhythm drinker, the thing we're looking for. Boom, boom. Bash. Alright, let's go turn this in. Well, I'll be a Tengu dipped in. You did it. The Rim Drinker drum will be my crowning achievement, and I couldn't have done it without you. Now please take this reward and feel free to make yourself scarce. Would you battle-hardened heroes like yourself tend to unsettle the clientele? That's a funny little... Let's go pick up one more side quest in the zone. There was a side quest outside of here. Let's see what that's all about. I just realized we just did some poaching. I hope PETA doesn't find this video. Hunting endangered animals and all. Forest Master Vasha. I find it interesting that a lot of the Kurzicks don't actually use like the Kurzick weapons. So there's this weapon set called Gothic. And I believe it's intended that those are the Kurzick's weapons, but I find it quite interesting that the Kurzicks don't actually use them like on their models and stuff. I would have figured they would have. Since I'm like 90% sure the intention of the weapons is for them to be the Kurzick weapons. But anyway. Good timing. No doubt the gods have had hand in your arrival. Listen, Luxon scouts have been scouted in Ferndale. My scouts lost them, but they can't have gone far. We need help searching the rest of Ferndale. If Luxon scouts are able to reach the borders and report their finds, I'm afraid we will be facing an enemy attack. I will destroy the Luxon scouts. Okay, so it's just a simple go out and destroy some scout groups. But it does give us a chance to run through Ferndale more. Which, again, it's not bad, but I do actually think that this is a bit of a weaker introductory zone compared to the rest of the Echowald Forest. The rest of the Echowald Forest is pretty, and like, it's got a good mix of green in it, and you know, got the cool tree cover with the big petrified trees. This is like mostly dead. Like a lot of the trees aren't up anymore. I don't know. I still think it's that good of a showing. What do you think? I'm kind of more impressed with the rest of the Echowald Forest than I am with this zone. I do like the skybox though. The skybox is pretty cool, but it's not as cool as the standard tree-covered skybox. It is cool because it's different though. I will give it that. It doesn't exactly explain why they hate each other, but it's kind of interesting how they do have relatively different cultures, the Luxons and the Kurzicks. And by relatively different, I mean that the Luxons are more been spotted or run. The Luxons are more, you know, obviously they're nomadic and stuff like that. We may have overruled here. I find it interesting that the Luxons were not fighting the Wardens. There's no, like, lore reason that they wouldn't be. They're not friends or anything like that. It's interesting that the packs were not interacting with each other despite standing on top of each other. That's something normally this game does pretty well. Maybe it's because they're quest mobs. It might be. Maybe it's because they were quest mobs. But yeah, the Kurzicks are very much spiritual and, like, art people and music, and like they live like relatively stationary lives in their cathedrals and stuff like that in the trees, while the Luxons are nomadic. Although I don't think, like, they are a bit more combative, but I think the Luxons are also kind of an arty people to a degree, just not as arty, for lack of a better term. Using arty as an adjective. Let's kill these dredge. There are some quests in the area about the dredge, actually, as well. I might actually do an episode on them before we go to the next area, because it's kind of interesting. I believe that, if I remember correctly from watching someone else talk about this a long time ago, there's also some relatively interesting lore about, like, with potential relevance to Guild Wars 2, in that dredge quest line, so I think I will actually end up doing that in an episode. We might actually end up doing that next episode. Try to push the I'm gonna be honest, to a degree, I'm trying to push the Fort Aspenwood episode back to the weekend, so I might do that just so I can record the Fort Aspenwood on Sunday or Friday, because I'm a little worried about there not being even bots or anything to let me queue in. If there isn't enough people, we'll probably just keep on going with the campaign, and I'll just record an episode whenever there's like a weekend for the Fort Aspenwood, and I'll put it up in the playlist. I'll probably skip a number and put it up in order. Whenever I do it, if it does end up coming to that, I'll mention it in the video and put the link in a pinned comment. The God Ray still just randomly there. But yeah, I totally forgot about that dredge quest until I actually saw these dredge here. And yeah, there's actually some interesting stuff in that quest, so I think we will actually be doing that little quest line. I think there's a couple quests. I don't think the Luxons have anything like that. The Luxon side's a little bit more... It's just because I'm more familiar with the Kurzicks and their quests, but I always kind of... The Kurzick stuff feels a little bit more coercive. Jeez, English. But by that I mean, like, it feels like there's more chains on the Kurzick side. It feels like there's more quests that lead into each other, instead of just, you know, stuff happening. So 3 Luxon groups remain. Oh, here they are. I was looking for y'all. Did you just block my spell? You can't do that. This is weird. I guess the auto attack went out at the same time, it just looked like he blocked it. This thing that's actually pretty good. It gets rid of a lot of hexes. Okay, we're going up towards House to Health, sir. You see what I mean a little bit with this? A little bit too much gray in this first zone, for my liking. A little bit too much. Although House to Health, sir, is quite impressive from the outside. Unlike a lot of the other ones that feel like they're built into the trees, this one kind of feels like it's built all around the trees. This is kind of what I picture most of them actually look like. It's just that due to limitations and budget and stuff, they just didn't make them like that. But this is kind of what I imagine all of them look like, where it's like actually a building in the trees instead of just some random windows in the side of the stone trees. Like it's actually like a full building face built into the tree. Or I guess carved out of the tree, because it's probably made of the stone of the tree. Which brings some interesting dilemmas to whatever happens if the, you know, Jade Wind unjade winds. Like, if it turns back into a tree, is it just now made of wood? Or is it still stone? Or I presume it would turn back into tree. Like the sides of the buildings. But I am not exactly sure. Kill these dredge first. Monk down. Oh no, we had to aggro to another group, and that group has a boss in it. still Luxon back there. There we go. Alright, now we can finish these guys off. I presume everybody's kind of low on energy, that's why it's taking a little bit, yeah. A little annoying to not have that BIP, but we just kind of don't have the necromancers to support it at this point. We need a couple more. Let's see, where are we going? Oh, the last one's up here. Alright. Limpity limp. There we go. Do that spotless slow. Are they on another pack? They're on another pack. Target the monk. Alright, there we go. Get the monk down, so now it should be pretty easy sailing. See the Four Master for our reward. Alright, let's get out of here. Hopefully that didn't break the quest, as it sometimes does. Where'd the quest go? Excuse me? 1 second. I'm going to pull up the wiki real quick. Alright, I pulled up the reward dialogue on the wiki because I'm not redoing this. That's a weird bug. We didn't abandon it. I'm like 100% sure I didn't abandon it. I just teleported back and that's weird. Oh, it even says in the notes, you must return to him without exiting the quest, leaving the resets the quest even when marked as complete. Ooh. That's weird. This is one of the only quests in the entire game that does that. But anyway, good work. Of course, I knew you'd be successful. There was a sign last night when the winds grew especially strong, and then again this morning when I stumbled upon that especially large ring of mushrooms. Oh, and there was this pine cone that fell on my head. Anyhow, Anyhow, thanks to you, the Luxons will think twice and try to invade Ferndal again. Well, that's funny. That's a weird interaction. There's very few quests like that. There's quests like that are like if you're mid-objective, you can't map out, but that's because you're mid-objective. I didn't think that even after you finished it, not only would you mapping back not reset the quest, but actually just get rid of the quest from your quest log. But anyway, that's going to be all for me today. I want to thank you for coming out. I hope you have a great day. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.